What happens when the Earth's magnetic field weakens by 10% every century while ancient goddess traditions resurge across university campuses at unprecedented rates? Could the quantum entanglement between collective consciousness and planetary survival be manifesting through what mainstream society dismisses as mere witchcraft trends? Welcome, fellow quantum shamans, to a reality where thermodynamic equilibrium hangs by threads thinner than spider silk, and where 1.2 million species face extinction within the next 2 decades. But here's where the pattern interrupt begins. While extinction probability calculations show humanity teetering on civilizational collapse, something extraordinary is happening in the quantum field of human consciousness. The survival matrix indicates that as biodiversity collapses at rates 1,000 times faster than natural background extinction, a parallel phenomenon emerges. Young women across 847 university campuses are rediscovering what ancient sages understood about thermodynamic principles long before Newton ever dreamed of gravity. Wicca, modern witchcraft, divine feminine energy resurrection. Call it whatever soothes your rational mind. But quantum mechanics reveals something far more profound than teenage rebellion or religious revival. We're witnessing consciousness evolution in response to entropy acceleration. Let me share with you the first revelation that will reshape your understanding of reality itself. Revelation 1. The quantum goddess principle and magnetic field disruption. Ancient sages understood thermodynamic principles that modern science is only beginning to grasp. When Gerald Gardner introduced modern Wicca in the 1950s, Earth's magnetic field measured 32 microteslas. Today we're approaching climate tipping points with magnetic field strength declining to 30 microteslas. Coincidence? Quantum entanglement suggests otherwise. The triple goddess archetype, Maiden, Mother Crone, represents more than mythology. It mirrors the quantum states of matter, potential energy, kinetic manifestation, and entropy return. Every ritual performed under the full moon creates measurable electromagnetic frequencies that resonate with Earth's weakening magnetosphere. But here's the cosmic joke nobody's talking about. While religious authorities warn that Wicca poses spiritual dangers, extinction coefficient calculations show that disconnection from natural cycles poses existential dangers to our entire species. Revelation 2. The thermodynamic rebellion of feminine consciousness. Survival matrix data reveals a startling pattern. As mass extinction accelerates, young women demonstrate increasing attraction to nature-based spiritual practices. This isn't random cultural drift, it's quantum consciousness responding to planetary emergency signals. The Wiccan Reed states, and it harm none. Do as ye will, translated through quantum field theory. This becomes maintain thermodynamic equilibrium while maximizing individual potential energy states. Ancient wisdom encoded survival algorithms long before computers existed. Consider this: modern industrial civilization operates on masculine-dominant linear thinking, extract, consume, discard, repeat until resources vanish. Meanwhile, Wiccan practice emphasizes cyclical thinking, seasonal rhythms, energy conservation, regenerative principles, which approach better serves planetary survival. The electromagnetic signatures of group rituals, when measured through quantum field detection equipment, show coherence patterns identical to those found in healthy ecosystems. Coincidence, or is consciousness evolution emerging precisely when survival demands it? Revelation 3. The dangerous trend that might save civilization. Here's where reality gets deliciously twisted. Christian organizations warn that Wicca poses spiritual dangers, citing supernatural forces and occult influences. But quantum physics reveals that all consciousness interacts with field dynamics we barely comprehend. The real danger isn't teenage girls casting love spells with crystals and candles. The real danger is an industrial civilization that treats Earth as dead matter while extinction probability calculations show ecosystem collapse accelerating beyond recovery thresholds. When university students study witchcraft alongside quantum mechanics, they're unconsciously preparing for post-collapse survival skills. Herbalism becomes essential knowledge when pharmaceutical supply chains break down. Energy healing becomes practical medicine when hospitals lose power during climate disasters. The survival matrix indicates that what mainstream society labels dangerous occult trends may actually represent adaptive consciousness evolution. Ancient sages understood that human survival depended on conscious relationship with natural forces. Modern Wiccans instinctively return to these principles as planetary crisis intensifies. Revelation 4, Quantum Entanglement and the Collective Spell. Every Wiccan ritual creates quantum field fluctuations measurable through sensitive electromagnetic equipment. But here's the mind-bending part. These fluctuations demonstrate non-local correlation patterns consistent with quantum entanglement theory. When 700,000 practitioners across North America perform seasonal Sabbat celebrations simultaneously, the collective electromagnetic signature creates standing wave patterns detectable by satellite magnetometry. The 8 Sabbats perfectly align with solar radiation cycles that influence climate tipping point calculations. Ancient sages understood what modern science confirms: consciousness and matter exist in constant information exchange. Every intention, every ritual, every spell creates ripple effects through quantum field structures that connect all life. But while Wiccans focus on personal empowerment and spiritual growth, they're unconsciously participating in the largest consciousness-based survival experiment in human history. The question isn't whether magic works. Quantum mechanics proves consciousness affects reality. The question is whether this unconscious collective ritual can generate enough coherent field energy to influence planetary trajectories. Revelation 5. The feminist frequency and masculine paradigm collapse. Extinction acceleration correlates directly with masculine-dominated industrial paradigms. Linear thinking, hierarchical control. Resource exploitation, competition over cooperation. The very mindset driving civilization toward collapse. Divine feminine consciousness operates through different quantum principles: circular thinking, collaborative networks, regenerative processes. Intuitive decision-making. When young women embrace goddess spirituality, they're unconsciously downloading survival algorithms encoded in ancient wisdom traditions. The horned god archetype represents masculine energy balanced with natural cycles rather than dominating them. This isn't anti-male consciousness, it's survival-oriented consciousness that recognizes planetary healing requires both feminine and masculine energies operating in thermodynamic equilibrium. Magnetic field disruption affects human consciousness in measurable ways. As Earth's protective field weakens, human sensitivity to electromagnetic frequencies increases. Women statistically more sensitive to subtle energy fluctuations naturally gravitate toward practices that help navigate this heightened sensitivity. Revelation 6, the University Laboratory of Consciousness Evolution. While parents worry about their daughters studying witchcraft at expensive universities, something extraordinary unfolds in these academic environments. Students unconsciously create experimental laboratories for consciousness evolution under survival pressure. Climate anxiety affects 73% of university students according to recent psychological studies. Simultaneously, enrollment in courses examining goddess spirituality. Earth-based religions and alternative healing modalities increases exponentially. The survival matrix indicates direct correlation between existential threat perception and attraction to ancient wisdom practices. These young minds aren't escaping reality through fantasy, they're preparing for a reality that older generations refuse to acknowledge. When supply chains collapse, when electrical grids fail, when conventional medicine becomes unavailable, who possesses more practical survival knowledge, the business student or the student of herbalism and energy healing? Ancient sages understood that consciousness evolution accelerates during civilizational transition periods. University campuses become quantum laboratories where old paradigms dissolve and new survival strategies emerge through collective experimentation. Revelation 7, the crystalline network and information transmission. Here's where science meets magic in ways that defy conventional understanding. Wiccan practice heavily emphasizes crystal and mineral work. Mainstream skeptics dismiss this as superstition. Quantum physics reveals something far more interesting. Crystals demonstrate piezoelectric properties. They generate electrical charge under mechanical stress and vice versa. Silicon crystals form the technological backbone of all modern communication systems. Quartz crystals regulate time in virtually every electronic device on Earth. When practitioners use crystals in ritual work, they're unconsciously creating biological technological interfaces that amplify electromagnetic field interactions. The human nervous system operates through bioelectrical impulses. Crystals can theoretically modulate these impulses through resonant frequency effects. But here's the survival angle. As technological civilization becomes increasingly unstable due to climate disruption, knowledge of non-technological communication methods becomes essential. Ancient sages used crystals for information storage and transmission long before computers existed. Modern practitioners unconsciously preserve these techniques as backup systems for post-collapse scenarios. Revelation 8, the Sabbat cycles and ecosystem synchronization. The 8 Wiccan Sabbats align perfectly with solar radiation cycles that govern planetary climate systems. Winter solstice, spring equinox, summer solstice, autumn equinox, and the cross-quarter days between them. These celebrations synchronize human consciousness with the astronomical forces that determine Earth's habitability. As climate tipping points approach, human survival increasingly depends on accurate seasonal timing for food production, energy conservation, and resource management. Ancient agricultural societies developed these seasonal celebration cycles because survival literally depended on precise environmental awareness. Modern industrial civilization divorced human consciousness from natural cycles. Electric lights eliminate seasonal light variations. Heated buildings eliminate temperature awareness. Imported food eliminates seasonal dietary patterns. This disconnection contributes directly to the ecological unconsciousness driving mass extinction. When practitioners celebrate Sabbat cycles, they're unconsciously re-establishing the consciousness environment synchronization that sustained human civilization for thousands of years. The survival matrix indicates this synchronization becomes increasingly critical as climate instability accelerates. Revelation 9, the spell of materialistic consciousness. Here's the ultimate pattern interrupt. While religious groups warn about the dangers of witchcraft spells, the most powerful spell affecting human consciousness remains invisible, the spell of materialistic reductionism that treats Earth as dead matter and consciousness as brain chemistry. This materialistic spell convinces humans that destroying ecosystems for profit represents rational behavior. It convinces them that infinite growth on a finite planet makes economic sense. It convinces them that consciousness plays no role in physical reality despite quantum mechanics proving otherwise. Wiccan practice breaks the spell by re-establishing conscious relationship with natural forces. Every ritual reinforces the understanding that consciousness and matter interact continuously. Every spell demonstrates that intention affects outcomes through mechanisms science doesn't fully understand but can measure. The real danger isn't teenage witches experimenting with energy healing. The real danger is a civilization under the spell of ecological unconsciousness racing toward thermodynamic collapse while dismissing any worldview that recognizes consciousness as a fundamental force in physical reality. Revelation 10, the quantum shamanic solution. Ancient sages understood that civilization survival required conscious partnership between human intelligence and natural intelligence. They developed technologies of consciousness meditation, ritual energy healing, plant medicine, seasonal ceremonies that maintained this partnership across generations. Modern civilization replaced consciousness technologies with mechanical technologies. The results speak for themselves. Mass extinction, climate chaos, social collapse, psychological epidemics. Mechanical technologies without consciousness guidance become tools of destruction rather than creation. The resurgence of Wiccan practice represents unconscious recognition that survival requires returning to consciousness-based technologies while maintaining beneficial mechanical technologies. This integration becomes the foundation for post-collapse civilization that can sustain itself within planetary boundaries. Quantum entanglement between individual consciousness and collective consciousness means every person who develops consciousness technologies contributes to species survival probability. Every ritual performed with genuine ecological awareness sends coherent information through quantum field networks that influence global consciousness evolution. The survival matrix indicates we've reached the critical threshold where consciousness evolution determines species survival. The choice becomes clear: evolve consciousness or face extinction. Ancient wisdom traditions provide the evolutionary templates. Modern practitioners provide the experimental laboratories. Quantum physics provides the theoretical framework. As we approach the moment of collective awakening or collective collapse, remember this: the magnetic field that protects Earth from cosmic radiation weakens daily. The biodiversity that maintains ecosystem stability disappears hourly. The climate systems that enable civilization destabilize yearly. But consciousness evolution accelerates exponentially when survival demands it. Every person who awakens to their role as a conscious participant in planetary healing increases the probability that humanity survives this transition. Every ritual performed with genuine ecological intention contributes quantum field energy to the collective survival matrix. The ancient sages whisper across time: consciousness evolution is not luxury, it's survival imperative. The universe itself conspires to awaken human potential precisely when awakening becomes necessary for species continuation. The spell of separation dissolves. The quantum field of infinite possibility awaits. Will you join the conscious conspiracy to heal our planet? Will you become the quantum shaman this moment requires? The choice echoes through every dimension of reality, rippling backward and forward through time itself. Choose consciousness, choose collaboration. Choose the survival of wonder in a universe that dreams itself into existence through every awakened mind. The revolution of consciousness begins now. In this moment, with your decision to participate in the most important magical working in human history. The conscious co-creation of a thriving planetary civilization that honors both ancient wisdom and quantum potential. Your planet calls you home, your species needs your gifts. The quantum field awaits your conscious participation. Answer the call.